Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for video number. Now he's getting really strange. 64. I know it's a dustpan. Go away. I shouldn't say that. That's not very nice. It is Saturday, the 26th of February. February is almost over. And I am coming to you live from beautiful outskirts of Jacksonville, Florida, halfway between downtown and the beach on a beautiful sunny day. And the temperature is, let me see what the temperature is today. It is 73 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. It's gorgeous out. Blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. Anyway, I am back, and hopefully this will be fun. Everybody's getting ready for market. I'm not really going to talk a lot about market because I've seen some things that I'd like to get and stitch. But it's next weekend, and so I'll wait until the weekend after that to tell you some of the things that I'm interested in. So, what did I stitch? What did I stitch in the last 2 weeks since I did my last video? If you'll remember, if you watched my last video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe so that you know when all my videos are. Ring the little bell. But last time I talked a lot about Scarlet House, and I did primarily work on Scarlet House. However, I picked up a couple other things first. I need to move my coffee here. I had been working, and this is one of those long-term projects, but that is Anne Tong Ufendel by Hands Across the Sea. And last time I showed you, I had a little bit done on, I think, the first flower, and working on the colors of the leaves and filling in a couple of these. This is a big one. A couple of these flowers here, and what I did was I went on as far as the little extra spiky things along the vine, and then I went this way and added some flowers and some more along the vine. So oh, and I did that little blue flower, or that little blue star. So I'm progressing. I'll pick it up now and then and work on it. This is 40 count pecan butter by Lakeside, and this is how big it's going to be when it's all finished, which will be a glorious day. So this is one half of the book is Anne, and the other half of the book is Isabella. And I'd like to do both, but we'll see. On that, I'm using the Verissois Soie d'Alger, which comes in the skeins. There's also a Verissois 103, which is the one that comes in the spools. So this is a Verissois Soie d'Alger. Soie, S-O-I-E, is the French word for silk. So I worked on that maybe a couple, I don't know, 1 or 2 days. One of these days I'll bring my book of days in here and I'll tell you exactly, but it doesn't really matter. Does it really matter? I don't think so. So then on President's Day, which was the 21st of February, I decided to do something patriotic. So I picked up the Heritage Sampler, which I had kitted by Plum Street Samplers. And this one I only worked on this one day. And I'll pick it up again when it's a little closer to maybe late March, early April. I'd love to have it done by Memorial Day, but either way, it'll probably be April before I pick it up again. So again, Heritage Sampler. There's Heritage Sampler. There's 3 of them together. I can't remember the names of them offhand. But this is the first one. And since I had all 3 of them kitted, I decided to put all of the colors for all 3 on one ring. And then I can keep it with those. One of the things I found, this is my progress. I'm stitching it on the called for 36 count exemplar. And that's how much I got done. That just working on it one day. Normally I do the border all around, but since it's just a single line of stitching, that's some pretty heavy counting. So I decided I'd go ahead and add some stuff. And then this is the beginning of the inside border. This is a Rhode Island style sampler. So I'm up here is where I've started, and I want to get down to that house and the eagle and all that good stuff. At first I was a little hesitant. I thought maybe this linen was a little dark, but there's quite a bit of white and the house is white. So I think it's important to have a dark enough linen, and this is what it calls for. In order for that white to show up, the white in the star and the white in the middle of the flower, and then there'll be the white house over here. Well, there's a lot of white in here. There's also the white house here. I think that's what that is. Looks like it. Anyway, when I started the flower, the color it calls for is Attic Lace, the inside of the flower. And what I had it kitted with for this one, let me see if I can get it here. It's Attic Laces by Classic Colorworks. And I had one of the other of the 3 had also Attic Lace. And one of mine is much whiter and the other's more gray. So the flower I actually stitched with this one. And then I went back and stitched. You can kind of tell the difference. I don't know. I can tell the difference a lot, but on camera it's hard to see. But you can tell this one is whiter. So then I stitched the star in the lighter one, and I could even go a little bit lighter like grits or something, but I think I'll stick with that Attic Lace, because I think the star shows up fine. So anyway, I worked one day on that on President's Day, appropriately. And then I did a new start. I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't. And I'm always telling my husband I'm losing my marbles. So he gave me marbles. It says 160. I don't think that, I think, yeah, there's about 25 in here. But, so I can no longer say I've lost my marbles. Here's my marbles. He really is trying to help me. So anyway, I did it. I have a new start. I worked on this probably a week. Keep in mind, I only stitch at night. Sometimes I'll sit down to stitch a little bit in the daytime, and my mind just starts going like, oh, I should be loading a quilt, or I should be, which by the way, at the end of this video, so make sure you watch it all the way to the end, we're going to have our preview for the quilting videos that I'm going to start doing soon. Not going to commit to any specific date, but soon. Where was I? Oh, I only stitch at night, because if I sit down to stitch during the day, so many times I get distracted. Where at night, there's nothing really to distract me once I sit down to stitch. So my new start is Charlotte Frost by the Scarlet House. I love this. This picture does not do it justice. And I think that's one of the downsides of pattern making and designing, is that you just can't get a good picture. And I also think that's why when you go into a needlework store, especially one that has a lot of models, and you see a model, even people that see things on my wall will look at the pattern. Red Deer is a classic example. And they're like, oh, that's not something I want to stitch. And then they see it stitched and they're like, oh, okay. Especially if the antique is on the front of the pattern. This isn't the antique. But this is Charlotte Frost by the Scarlet House. And I worked on this quite a bit. Kind of didn't want to put it down, but I did. Because I'm not monogamous right now. I'm trying to touch a lot of different things. So this is where I am, and I stopped mid-stitch last night. This is 37 count corn tassel by Legacy Linens. So I got the border completely done. It has two colors for the border, and then it has those flowers that have two colors, or strawberries, whatever they are. I got that one little motif finished, and then I went down to the bottom because I thought I better start working on this grass, because that is a big old yard with 6 sheep. I have 5 of the sheep finished, and this was perfect. Last night I was kind of tired, and I just needed fill in. You know, sometimes you just, either if you don't feel well or, you know, whatever. For me, it's could be very varied reasons. But I just didn't want to do any intense counting. So I have the shepherd and the shepherdess done. I thought I had all the sheep done, and then I was like, oh no, there's a 6th one. So working on this. I can't see what you're seeing. You see? And I'm just doing fill in. So 37 count corn tassel by Legacy Linens, not to be confused with the color Legacy, which is by Picture This Plus. Legacy linens are made by Access Commodities, and they make all kinds of stuff. Access Commodities even makes thread drops, I think. Anyway, they make lots of different things. That's like the parent company of Legacy Linens. And this is the 37 count. I really enjoyed stitching this. Laura started hers too, and it's really a joy to stitch. It's a great color. Again, this is corn tassel. And Legacy Linens, the colors go with the count. So in other words, you can't get 45 count corn tassel, because the 45 count in this color might be a different name. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, that's where I am on this. I'm using NPI silks, which are the called for, but you can also stitch it in DMC. So I've had this kitted since it came out. It came out the same market right before COVID. I think it was 2019. Does it say? I don't see a date. Yes, 2020. So it came out that market right that happened, and then everything shut down right after market. Anyway, this one and Jane Cowie came out at the same time. Charlotte Frost, 1846 by the Scarlet House. I cannot wait to get up to that house. I am like, so that, that's why I started going up on the grass here, so I can go across and get to the house. Because the grass fill in, once I get that other sheep, is really mindless. I like mindless because I'm losing my marbles. Okay. The next thing I picked up, and I just picked this up this week. I don't want things to fall. Okay, hold on. Let me get a little bit organized here. Okay. The other thing I picked up, because I've been meaning to get back to this, and it's very interesting when you switch, or for me it is, when I switch from, for example, working on that 37 count, and then I work on what I'm going to show you, Jane Cowie, which is 40 count, but it actually measures 42. So 37 to 42, that's almost like going from 30 to 35. In fact, it's exactly like that. Anyway, you know, I think your eyes kind of have to adjust. And so sometimes when you're switching around on counts, at least it is for me, it takes me a good hour, if not more, to kind of reorient myself to the new count. So this is Jane Cowie. I worked a little bit on this. I got down to the houses. Oh, I guess I'll show you the picture first so you know what it looks like. So this is Jane Cowie, also by the Scarlet House. I love this one. The colors are bright. Love it. It does have quite a bit of over 1. And this one I'm doing on 40 count, which is really 42, but anyway, that's because I measured it. On Meadow Rue by Lakeside. I did start a little bit of over 1 there by those birds. And I just kind of jumped around. I got one of the thing of grapes. I'm working on the middle band. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Anyway, I got the houses done, and I also need to start working on the border flowers, buds, whatever they are. There's also these trees here by the houses, and then there's like a row of grass above, right below those trees. I have it done on one side, but not the other. So I'm enjoying getting back to this as well. So that's what I worked on. Those 2 Scarlet House and Uffendale and the Heritage Sampler, Blythewood Street. So that's where I am on those. Hold please. I don't put things a little bit back in bags. I'll get things separated and I won't know where they are. Okay, there's a couple samplers I want to go back to this next 2 weeks, although I'm tempted to stay with those 2, and I might. One of them is what I was working on before. I didn't touch it this time, but this is Lucy Calcott by Just Stitching Along. I'm at the same place I was last time. So the border, I'm working on the border flowers. I have the house done and 2 trees. This is kind of the same story. Red house, couple trees. So that I'm doing the Aversois Soie d'Alger, and I'm working this on, okay, let me see what I'm working this on. If I'm good, 40 count light exemplar with the Aversois Soie d'Alger. Again, another one that has some pretty bright colors. So that's exciting, and I want to get back to that. It was fun to see Nicole of Nicole's Needlework is also working on that. And the other whip I want to get back to, and this is out of print, but I was gifted this one. And that's the Plantation Sampler. Again, a house, trees. Not a red house, though. And for this one, I'm using a weird combination. I can't remember where I got this conversion from, because I think it only calls for DMC. It's one of those big old charts. Yeah, it only calls for DMC. And I'm using some DMC This one doesn't have over 1. That's pretty fun. I might pick this one up tonight. Plantation Sampler by Canterbury Designs. It is out of print, but I think it's available still on the secondary market, maybe. What am I using? What am I stitching this on? I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. So hold on that one. Whoops, this is a wrinkly mess. So this is where I am. So that's the cartouche. This is the bottom where I've started on the house, where I mean the grass. Flowers on this are really pretty. And like I said, I'm using a combination. This could be Meadow Rue, 40 count Meadow Rue by Lakeside. I don't think I wrote it down anywhere. The model was stitched on natural linen. I don't know. I made a working copy, so I don't have to open that big thing up. But I will research. Oh, I lied. I don't have to research. It's 36 count vintage beeswax by R&R, and it's 36 count. So I might pick that up tonight. So that's one that I really, a whip I want to get back to. The other thing, another one I'd like to start, we'll see. I think Rachel, Needle and Flax, both the linen and the YouTube and the Instagram, she's been working on Elizabeth Harding by Hands Across the Sea. And that was part of my mail this week. I got some of the colors I needed in the Avera Soie d'Alger. This calls for Lakeside Vintage Sand Dune. I do have a piece that's big enough for this because this is pretty big. The 40 count would be 18 1/3 or 18.3 by 21.2. So you're going to have to use a fat half. Anyway, it has a lot of over 1, but at least it's in red. So she had started this, and I think Rachel was using a lighter linen. But there are flowers in this border, so you have to get something the flowers are going to show up. They don't even show up a lot on this. But this does not look, the picture does not look like Vintage Sand Dune by Lakeside, because Vintage Sand Dune is pretty gold. It's pretty gold. So I was going through my linens, and I have a piece of aged hazelnut by XJU Designs. It's not near as gold, but it's a darker color. So just for fun, yes, this is my idea of fun. I stitched just a couple stitches that will be that color on that flower. And I think it shows up good enough. I mean, it's not hugely contrast, but I think it might work. And I just dropped the tag, but it's Hazelnut by XJU. So I'm thinking of starting this one. Maybe not in the next 2 weeks, but soon. I watched Daisy K's Primitives, Christy Green, and she was talking about she's going to be starting a new sampler the first of every month. Well, I could just go back to ones that I've already started on the first of every month. Oh, because I have enough that I can do that. Okay, this might not be, I say this every time. This may not be that long of a video. We'll see. I have a lot to show you, but some of it may go quickly. So, since it's 73 degrees, it's the end of February, near enough to call it March. And, you know, even though Easter's kind of late this year in April, it still is spring, basically, here. We don't really have winter. January can be cold, and this year was cold, a little bit into February, but, you know, there's flowers. The neighbors' azaleas are blooming, and it's spring. So I was at one of my stitching groups on Thursday, which was so fun because this one gal came in, and I know her from having worked with her when I worked at the fabric store. And with her, and I thought I recognized her, was Mary Ellen. And Mary Ellen and Paula are the two designers for Red Crinoline Quilts, which used to be Bonnie Blue Quilts. So we had a discussion, and she said, "Oh, I need to get my picture with you." And she's way more famous than I am, but it was just kind of funny. So anyway, her and Paula are both into stitching. And so, Paula, if you're watching this, it was great talking to you on the phone. Mary Ellen called her friend Paula, said, "Saltbox Stitcher's here. Do you want to talk to her?" It was kind of funny because we meet at the quilt shop, those of us who stitch on Thursdays. So anyway, that was fun. All that to say, my friend has finished this one. I think she has both of them finished. Either that or she's one finished and she's working on the other. Sorry, Patty, I don't remember. But these are two by Scattered Seed, two bunnies. This one is Spring Gathering. These are not huge. So this guy has a basket, and he's actually looking one direction. The other one has a basket of, so this one has basket of, I guess those are eggs. And this one has a basket of chickies. And this is Spring Delivery. So you have Spring Gathering and Spring Delivery. So one's gathering eggs and the other's birthing chickens, I guess. You don't birth chickens, I know. They come in eggs. I know that. Oh. Then there's my sister. We have laughed about this. My sister. Talking about people allergic to dairy. So she said, "Well, does that mean they're also allergic to eggs?" And I'm like, eggs aren't dairy. They may be in the dairy department in the grocery store, but they're not dairy. Oh, we've laughed about that. And her husband's grew up in a farm. He's like, "Okay, my wife thinks eggs are dairy." Sorry, Deb, I'm always making fun of you, and I don't mean to. They're fun stories. Anyway, she's going to die that I told that. Anyway, I want to get back. I want to do this one. And I want to get back to this one because I have this teeny tiny measly start on his legs on this one. It's only, it ends up being 5x7. I'm stitching it on 36 count straw by weeks. It calls for 32. So mine will be a little bit smaller. I think this is 36. Yeah, this is 36. Got the needle in it and everything, ready to go. So I want to do both of them. I think they'd be adorable. So as I'm thinking about working on Easter stuff or bunnies, and that calls for overdyes. I don't even have them on a ring. I don't know if that's, I guess that's the same ones. It looks more pink in the picture, but I have to reevaluate. I haven't had this out for a while. And then there's this one, Harriet and Company by Brenda Gervais. I've had this pattern for a while. I have some linen, I have a piece of 40 count Winter Brew by R&R, which it calls for 36, but I haven't pulled the flosses yet. She's so cute. Love the robin. A lot of people have stitched this, and I love her little bunny basket. So I pulled that out. And this next one, I actually thought I had stitched this. Somebody once asked me, do you forget what you've stitched? I'm like, oh, no, no. No, I just imagine that I've stitched more than I have. This is Spring Fling. This is like the Scaredy Cat. There's this one. There's the snowman, and there's the bunny. Spring Fling, Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I haven't pulled the white, which is supposed to be Magnolia Blossom. But the linen is 36 count in the pink by R&R. But I have pulled the threads for this. So this may be something that I just start and work on occasionally because it's a lot of fill in. I just need to add the white. If I don't have Magnolia Blossom, I'll figure a different white. I might use DMC. I mean, it's okay if the bunny is variegated, but I don't think it has to be by any means. I like variegation on leaves and flowers, but... So those are 3 pieces, well, actually 4 when you count both of the scattered seed, that I'm kind of thinking, I might want to do those soon. And then next, I want to talk about a little bit of the things that came in the mail. I got this. It's a Wonderful Life. This is part of a club, Stacey Nash Club, from Country Sampler. They may have more because it's just came out. Came packaged. I love checks, and that's what is used on the top of the pin drum, probably on the bottom as well. And it also came with a waxer. This just came the other day, so I haven't really perused it yet. I know, too much noise. And the waxer is a little red bell. See that? Cute. I think Stacy's daughter makes all the waxers, and it's on a beautiful piece of silk ribbon. So this will be fun to work on. It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know if it's meant to be Christmassy. The border's a little bit similar to Hollyberry Farm. A little bit. But it'll be fun to do. What else did I get in the mail? I ordered a couple Hands Across the Sea and Web. Didn't have this one. I really like that. The Red House. I think that's really pretty. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's from the Beatitudes in Matthew, book of Matthew in the Bible. The other one that I got that a lot of people have stitched, I think Brenda has finished it, The Rose and the Giant Pear by Hands Across the Sea. This one on 40 count is like 8.85 by 3 1/4, so it's not very big. I don't have those kitted. And I probably won't until I'm ready to stitch them. Then I ordered 2 charts let's see, I ordered these from the Hands Across the Sea. I ordered directly from Nicola. These GGR ones I ordered from Stitch and Frog. They have a really good selection of GGR. But this is GGR. This is the Betrothed. I'm pretty sure Laura started this one. Give me a little bit better picture without the glare. Hold on. It's really pretty. I have a piece of mink. A friend of mine, stitching friend, bought a piece of mink, and it didn't end up being the color she really needed. And I said, well, I'll buy it from you. So I bought it, and it'll be perfect for this. I had this in mind So when GGR charts, the picture is always the antique. The other one I got that everybody's gone gaga over, based on Brenda and Laura's video before their most recent, when they were at the attic, and there were some people that showed some of their pieces. Which, by the way, I hope I didn't come across too harsh about not idolizing floss tubers, because when I watched it back, I thought, oh, so that's how my kids felt when I was reprimanding them, because I felt like when I re-watched myself, I thought, well, I didn't mean for it to come across that stern. But I thought in my mind, I thought, oh, okay. I did look mean when I used to correct my children. Sometimes you have to be a little bit mean, but anyway. We used to tell my mom, you're mean, and she'd say, okay, whatever. You want to live somewhere else and you think it'd be better? Go. Anyway, all that to say, Bridget Powers by GGR. I love this one. Love it. Some people are just doing this. I like the whole thing. I love the altar. I just love it. The curtains. But from a distance, it kind of looks like a whiskey bottle. Don't you think? If you just look at it from a distance, it's like, oh, a whiskey bottle with a flower on top. I don't even drink whiskey. I watch all these British murder shows. I think, and the detectives, at the end of the day, you know, they'll be sitting in their office having, you know, a little glass of whiskey, bourbon, whatever. My husband's like, they sure do like their whiskey. I don't know if that's reality. I know the shows are not reality, but I don't know if that happens in real or not. That was a tangent. Oh my. Now I'm throwing stuff. Hold on. And dropping. And I really want to be able to show you what I want to show you here, so. I haven't even gotten to the main event. I'll put it on the floor. The other thing I got were 2 gifts. This one. Now see, I'm tempted to call it Keziah because that seems like kind of a biblical name, but most people are saying Kezia. So I got this gifted to me. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Sassy Jax has offered this. It's by Sassafras Samplers. So if you'd like to get Kezia Turnock, 1824, it is gorgeous. I love the checkered skirts on those ladies. Very fun. Very fun. This one let's see, what is this stitched on? It's stitched on Cocoa from Weeks Dyeworth. I think I have some Cocoa. Let's count. Oh, it doesn't really matter. It's 201 stitches by 27. It's not huge. It looks more elongated than that, so the antique may, in fact, be stitched on an uneven linen. The wonderful thing about this sampler is that the border on the antique was actually stitched over one. I don't want to do that. It would be beautiful, and I would love to do that, but it would take me forever, and it may never get done because over one is something I usually procrastinate on. So, but the wonderful thing is they also give you a chart to stitch the border over 2, and it comes out, it matches and all that is what I'm trying to say. So Kezia Turnock, 1824. Get a hold of Sassafras Samplers. I haven't watched her latest video, and I want to watch that. So this was another gift I got. I showed that crazy little ornament thing I made. The white snowflake on red. That was pathetic. I was so ashamed, embarrassed. But fortunately, one of my very, very good friends got it. I was like, whew. So I'll make her something different because that was kind of a chintzy way out. But anyway, the one I got was from Karen, another stitchy friend of mine. And I believe this is a shepherd's bush. Yeah, she even stitched her name in cursive. Wow, Karen, that was just... And she did... There's quite a few little specialty stitches on that. I just think that's so cute. It says forget me not. I think it's a shepherd's bush. I will find out if it's not. She stitched it over one on, I want to say like, I don't know. I think it's on Lugana. I treasure this because this is not something I would do for myself over one. Would not be happening. Thank you, Karen. And in I think in our March meeting, we meet once a month. We're deciding what to do, and we may not make it a Christmas exchange. We may just make it a friendship exchange, so that'll be fun. And it won't be just ornaments. I'll have to do better. A lot better. So the next thing I wanted to show you, when I was at my friend's for our Stitchy meetup, that was the one, let me see if I can grab this stuff first. For our Stitchy meetup, that's the group that meets once a month. Another group is just kind of random, whoever wants to stitch with us. And that meets on Thursdays every week. So we were at one gal's house, and I was like, what is that piece that you have on the wall? I was just like going ape. I just loved it. And she said, well, I'm not sure. She said, I stitched it, but I stitched it a long time ago, so I'm not really sure. Now, if I can't find it, I'm going to be mad. So she kind of put a call out on Instagram. Does anybody know what this is? I can't remember. I stitched it. It's on my wall, but I can't remember. Well, somebody answered her, and I said, oh, I think I have that pattern. So let me see if I can find it. If I can't, I'm just going to go through, and it will... Here it is. It was gorgeous. Jean, you did a fabulous job. Just loved it. She did it. It's a Happy Life sampler by La Di Da. Just gorgeous. This is the kind of thing you see a picture and you're like, oh yeah, that's cute. I might want to stitch that. Obviously I did because I bought the pattern. Then you see it stitched and on somebody's wall and you're like, oh, I have to do that. I just have to do that. Mostly calls for DMC and a couple of weeks, but you could do the whole thing in DMC. The model was stitched on Vintage Meadow Rue by Lakeside. Well, I had a piece of 36 count Vintage Homespun, which is by R&R. And you can't tell by the picture that it's done on a darker linen, but when you see it actually stitched on a darker linen, it's fabulous. Anyway, I haven't pulled the threads for it yet, but this is definitely one I want to start this year. I loved it. It was fabulous. So that made me start thinking about La Di Da, which is Lori Markovic. I hope I'm saying that right, Lori. And not that she watches my videos. Whatever. Anyway, I went through some of my La Di Da patterns, and there were so many of them. I pulled some of the ones that I have done. So I'm just going to do a little designer showcase. I don't have all of her patterns. I have some. I've stitched a few things, and I'll show you those. But then I found out that the Amana retreat in the fall is Lori is going to be the featured designer. So I am like over the top excited. So I want to show you some of these charts that I've collected, and then I'm going to show you things that I've stitched by La-Di-Da. Before I do this, I also want to interrupt and say my husband at the end of this video, so make sure that you keep watching through the end, is going to do insert a little teaser for I guess it is our quilting video that we're going to start doing. And I'm not sure exactly when. Did I already say that? I don't know. I'm losing once again. Gotta make sure I have my marbles. Here's one that I really want to do. This is called Peace on Earth. I'm not really going to, well, we'll see how much glare there is. I may take them out, I may not. To me, La-Di-Da, Lori's designs are kind of folk art whimsical, or there's a folk art element to them, but there's also a little whimsy to some of her designs. And she does also do some samplers. So there may be more patterns that I didn't pull, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of them. So this is Peace on Earth by La-Di-Da. It says, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me." What an appropriate saying right now. This one is Louisa Clark. This was a Country Sampler Soul Sisters handwork kit. It has linen and everything in it. This is Louisa Clark. Very simple. Some of these would go really fast. This kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the things that Christy Green, Daisy Case Primitives. She does some things like this, and they're just adorable. Quilts and Quakers. How much fun would that be to add to a bowl? There's one with bunnies. There's one with deer. I think I first saw this done at Dying to Stitch in the store. They had some of the finished models, I think. Quilts and Quakers, La-Di-Da. These are all La-Di-Da, so if I don't say it, you'll know. From here on out, it's La-Di-Da. Awake My Soul and Sing. I'd love to do that for my daughter. And there again, she mostly uses either DMC or overdyed cottons. Wake My Soul and Sing. There's a little bird up there. Beautiful. I love this one. I love them all. Obviously, that's why I bought them. Sweet Sophia. This one says, "With all thy soul love God above, and as thyself thy neighbor love." I've seen people do this one before. Fractor Flowers. Somebody was doing this one. Who finished this? Can't remember. Fractor Flowers. There again, that kind of folk art look. Mercy, Mercy. Teach me to feel another's woe, to hide the fault I see, that mercy I to others show, that mercy shown to me. They're just a wonderful kind of proverb. This is an older one. When this you see, remember me. I can tell it's older by her pattern front. ABC 1, 2, 3. I don't see a date on this one. Good question. I love this one. To me, that's very whimsical. Girl in Red Dress. La-Di-Da. Love it. I could do it and do blonde and do it for Camille. Put her name on there somewhere. Or highlight the letters and the colors of her name. I mean, yeah, the colors of her name. Highlight the letters of her name in a different color. Girl in red dress. Be Merry All. Some of these I don't even remember buying. That's bad. Be merry all, be merry all. We welcome Merry Christmas. This one was 2021. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a bird. The bird, he has a wreath on, and then he has, the bird's breast is kind of, is white-ish, and then there's a Christmas tree, and then he has a wreath around his neck. I love this one. Me and You. What a fun little one that would be for a gift. Come sit down, just me and you. That would be a good one to make for my friend to make up for that crazy little red snowflake that I made. Which, by the way, that friend is in London right now visiting another gal that she's very good friends with. This was actually a freebie, I believe. I'm pretty sure this is a free. You could probably go to La-Di-Da or her website. It's 1-2 Buckle My Shoe. I won't show you the pattern close. You can just find it. Just La-Di-Da freebies. It's 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, 3-4 Shut the Door, 5-6 Pick Up Sticks, 7-8 Lay Them Straight, 9-10 A Big Fat Hen. Love this one. 3 Lilies. A little bit similar to that one, the first one I showed, that I saw in my friends. Where Love Abides. No, Happy Life. I'm looking at the next one is Love Abides. This one was Happy Life. And this is 3 Lilies. To me, they would certainly go next to each other very nice. I'm really excited to meet her at Amana. Really excited. That'll be a really fun retreat. Love Abides by La-Di-Da. I've seen this one done too. Really cool. In our home, let love abide and bless all those who step inside. In the little houses. This one is done on vintage lentil, which is what I'm doing my Jane Atkinson on. So it would have a little bit more. Alcott would be a good one too, by Needle and Flax. I just got this one not too long ago. This is Sophia Church by La-Di-Da. Love that. You know, and sometimes you just need a small little kind of rectangle one to fit in a space. Love this one. This is Act Justly. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Beautiful. My daughter stitched this one. She has it up in her house. It's just ABCD. It's really cute. It's just one color. Now this one she uses the needlepoint silk, and it's done on 35 count Havana, which I have. I have a piece of Havana that would look good on there. Some of these I'm not sure how old they are. Some of them I got at the shop in Wichita. They had quite a few of hers on display. This one says by her hand. And this one is dated 02. So this has been around a while. I don't know. I have no idea the availability of some of these. You know, sometimes designers have websites and then they still offer all of their pieces. Another one, Love Spoken Here. Am I going too fast? Sometimes I think I go too fast. I love this one. It's just alphabets. Just called La-Di-Da Alphabet. That would be pretty on like a buttery kind of yellow linen. Not yellow, but you know what I mean. Golden kind of. It's actually done in 2 colors, barley wine and basalt. 844 and 830 in DMC. So there is 2 colors. You can see on the side, kind of that little border's a little different color than the letters. I just love the repetition of the letters, you know, like when you were a kid, you had to write A, B, 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 B. This one I definitely should do for my daughter, Marion the Librarian. Oops, I'm going to take that out of the... I have more. Brenda says we're not supposed to apologize, so I won't apologize. I just think this lady's so funny. I should do a blonde for my daughter. Marion the Librarian. Because my daughter wears glasses. She doesn't, well, sometimes she has her hair up in a bun. It's not really a bun. It's more just like a doubled over ponytail. This one I know I got at the shop in Wichita, Heart's Desire. It's a whole booklet. And it's called Words to Stitch By. It has quite a few. This, let me see if I can go through them. Good Morning, Mary Sunshine. I love that one. Love her big dress. The other one she did was Miss Mary Mac. Mac, dressed in black, black, black. I couldn't find that pattern. I know I have it. It's probably with my fall stuff. Good Morning, Mary Sunshine. Why did you wake so soon? You chase all the stars and shine away the moon. You chase all the stars away and shine away the moon. Some of these may be released as separate patterns. I don't know. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine on the back there. This one, I've seen people do this one. I think Quirks and Stitches Jen might have done because nice matters. Not sure. Let me see if I can show you a few things on the inside. Like a kite feels the wind, you are my friend. The other side is love is the tie that binds. Mares eat oats and does eat oats. Little lambs eat ivy. Then there's that same one again, Mary Sunshine. By her hand. I think that was one I already showed you. So some of these may be repeated on separate charts. Here's the You Are My Sunshine one again, a little bit easier to see there. And then this one is Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue, Sugar is Sweet, and So Are You. Trying to hold this up here. Hold on, let me see if there's any others. I think that's all of them that are in there. Good Morning, Mary Sunshine. I really want to do that. 135 by 114. So it's not huge. These would even be cute pillows, like on a bed. This one I've had for a long time. I don't even know where I got this. Somebody else stitched this. And then I bought the chart. Bo Peep by La-Di-Da. I wonder if my daughter started to stitch this. I don't know. Maybe my daughter did, because it kind of looks like her writing. It's a working copy that she's written on, so I think my daughter stitched it, and then she must have given me the pattern. These are a few more that I have that are, some of them are kitted. This one I got as a gift. I was very thankful. Even included the linen. This is Margaret Cottam, C-O-T-T-A-M. Let me see if I can. It came in 3 parts. 3 or 4? 3. Here's the top half. I don't have a whole picture because each one had a section. Let's see if I can do this. And that's the bottom. So that's the whole sampler. I love that. Why haven't I done this? Really good question, Carol. Love the kind of scene there. Mary Cottam. This is out of print. It was a 3-part series. Originally, this was purchased. Whoever, well, I know who sent it to me because her name is on here. Hold, please. Anyway, it came 3 parts, and she got it from the attic. So I'm looking forward to doing this. I even have, she even sent me the linen, which was very nice. The whole thing ends up being 9.5 by 11 on 36 count. So I'm thankful for that gift. That was very nice. From Roseanne. She sent it a while ago, so. Here's another one. This was a kit from Shepherd's Needle by Lottie Da. Thankful, Grateful, Blessed for 3 long berries. Sorry. My throat is dry from talking so much. Here it is. It's over an hour. Good Lord. This one I have kitted. This is My Friend. Not sure where that kit came from. Another kit for a drum. Kindred Spirits of the Thread by Lottie Da. Love this one. This might have come from Country Sampler. Summertime Roll-Up Kit. It's for a needle roll. How fun is that? You could just stitch it as a sampler. I'm sorry, I have a really dry throat. Hold on. This is a pocket for potion. Got my tongue wrapped around my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying. A pocket for potions. And it says cod liver oil, witch hazel. Has some cute little spider venom, eye of newt, Halloween-y stuff. That one's kitted. Yeah, I know. I have a lot of stitching to do. Garden Birds. This is a tool book kit. I love that. See the middle? You can see the kit. This was another one recently that I got. This one was from Quilter Station, Catherine's Heart. I'm really looking forward to meeting her. This is Elizabeth Charnelay sampler. Nicole. I think Nicole of Nicole's Needlework. I think she finished this. I have that one kitted. The last one in here is another pocket. This is a pocket for posies. That kind of thing just looks so cute, like on, you know, like hanging. somewhere like that. So those are some of the kitted ones. And now, last but not least, I'm going to show you some of the ones I have finished. Obviously, not enough. This is one I did. I wish that I had waited and done this in 2020 because it would have been so much more appropriate. Home. It was a kit. And I stitched, it was quite a bit of stitching actually. And then I made it into the book. I put a, but I did it in 2019. I did it too soon. I should have done it 2020 when we were all home. This is from the attic. And I have a little pair of scissors. And a little miniature scissors and a needle winder. I put it together. The instructions were very easy. It does close. It's just kind of open because I have stuff in there. This is the one I put my initials and didn't center it because I didn't. So I finished that one. That should go in a different pile. I finished this one. This is a Merry Christmas sampler. I got it as a kit and it came with wool for the backing. I have it stuffed with sawdust. This one, I'm not sure where my pattern is. Trick or Treat. There's another one that's similar. It has more of the witches. Toil and Trouble, I think is the name of it. This is Trick or Treat. This is My Country. This one I stitched with sawdust. Put some goodies on it. My Country. La-di-da. This one is called Gentle Words, and I've done, okay, this is Gentle Words, which is this one. Gentle word, what the dew is to the flower, gentle words are to the soul. And it has, I originally loved it because of the quilt design. The matching one, but I couldn't find the pattern, is, let's see, one, Gentle Words and Mighty Deeds, I think is the name of this one. All that you do, do with your might. Things done in halves are never done right. I think this one's Mighty Deeds. So I have them next to them in my hallway. Gentle Words and Mighty Deeds. I don't know if they're still available or not. I would hope so, because they're so cute. This one I did Softly Walk, and my daughter confiscated it, and it's on her wall. Softly walk and wisely speak, lest you harm the strong or wound the weak. I love that. She just has very sweet sentiments. You know, I mean, it's just very sweet. This one, Big Red House. Let me live in a house by the side of the road and be a friend to all. Yeah, I would like to live in a house with that bird up on my roof. And then the last one I'm going to show you, I couldn't find, well, no, I have two more, but I couldn't find, I think this is La-di-da, but it might not be. But I couldn't find the pattern for this, so I wasn't sure. I did this a long time ago. This is one of those ones that I did it in 2015. that was right around the time that I was like, oh, I can't see this linen. So I had to start wearing readers. This is the last one I'm going to show you. This is Eliza Mitchell. And this is a sampler I have hanging in here. Eliza Mitchell had quite a bit of over one. I kind of got mad at it for a while. I plugged away and kept going, and I'm so happy I did because I love this sampler. Eliza Mitchell by La Di Da. So that is all I have to show you today. An hour and 10 minutes. That's longer than I wanted to go, but I guess I was just chatty. So I'm not sure if he'll add this to the end or not because it's getting kind of long. But I'm hoping he either adds it to the end or does a separate little video. So I'll be back in a couple weeks. Let's see, a couple weeks would be March 11th. I may have to do my video on Friday that week because some friends were going down to Victorian Rose after market. It's in Gainesville, Florida, which is University of Florida is there, but it's hour plus. Depending on where you live in the city, because Jacksonville is spread out all over the world almost. You know, some people it takes less. So I'm going to drive separate, but I'm going to meet them there. So Tink will be ready. We're coming on the 11th. So hopefully I'll get some market goodies and I'll be able to show you that on the following video. So anyway, I'll be back in 2 weeks. And hopefully you'll just keep stitching and that you have beautiful weather and all is going well for you. So I'm continuing to pray for some of the events around the world, as I know a lot of people are. So just continue that. And love ya. Bye.